Basically, evolution is a change in the complexity of an organism. You start as a simple organism into a complex organism. So let's look at evolution in detail. In this topic, we are going to look at, number one, the definition of the biological evolution. What does it mean? We are going to look at differences between the hypothesis and the theory. You need to be at least you have a clear understanding between the hypothesis and a theory. And then another one, we are going to look at evidences of evolution. So we are going to look at different evidences which support evolution. Then we are going to look at the role of these evidences to support the evolutionary trends. And among the evidences, we are going to look at the fossil records. You did this in grade 10, if you can remember. Grade 10, you talked about the fossils in Marupeng. Those are the records we are going to talk about. And then we are supposed to go even to Marupeng to do these excavations. Unfortunately, because of Corona, so we can't do that. So we will use internet so that we can understand it better. Then you are going to look at biogeography. Here we are going to look at how species are distributed in the world. Still, this is grade 10 work. So we are going to link it so that you can understand it better. Then you are going to look at modification by descent. Sometimes you call this one comparative anatomy. Specifically, that is homologous structures, because comparative anatomy, it is divided into two. We have the analogous structures and homologous structures. But here we are going to look at homologous structures. We are going to look at them. What does it mean, so that you can understand it better. Then we are going to look at genetics in detail still. How does it support evolution? Because we are saying that all these are evidences which support evolution, that evolution took place. If you say that you came from monkeys, are you sure that you came from monkeys? Can you use genetic evidence to support your answer that you came from monkey? You don't just say. In science, you're supposed to say, and then you are supposed to give the evidence to show what you are saying. You don't just say and then you go. No, you have to support your statements you have spoken about. Then we have the embryology. Is also another evidence. This one, you're looking at different embryos of different organisms, the likeness. If they do have the likeness, then automatically it means that we have some relationship with evolution. So all these ones are going to look at them in these slides we are going to talk about. So we are going to also look at variation, basically how in this case we are going to look at the species and the population. Species in specifically what is the species, what's the population, all that we are going to look at them, and then the causes of variation. Among the causes, we are going to look at meiosis. We are going to look at meiosis is divided into two, that is crossing over, and then a random arrangement of chromosomes. You're going to look at them. You're going to explain them in detail. Then you're going to look at a mutation. Many people have been asking me about mutation. We're going to also talk about some bit of mutation, but still we will have another class which will talk about mutation in detail. Then we are going to talk about random fertilization is also a part, another factor which causes variation. Then you are going to look at random mating, the way how you mate. When we talk about mating, we will see it in detail, but mating is a scientific term, which means sex or reproducing. And then we are going to look at the different types of variation, that is continuous and discontinuous variation. So basically, that's what we are going to look at today. If we have enough time, we will complete the slide. If the time doesn't allow us, it means that we will have to look at other subtopics in the next class. That is tomorrow. Make sure that you come on time. What is evolution? When we talk about evolution, we are talking about the process. It's a process. It's not just one step. No, it's a process. It means that look at when you eat. When you eat, The food does not just go to the blood just like that. When you have to prepare the food, you eat the food, it goes to the mouth, it goes to the throat, it goes to the stomach. It's the process. By the time it reaches the blood, then it means that it has passed in a number of steps. So when you talk about evolution, evolution doesn't just take place just in a single event. No, it takes place with different steps. So once you combine those steps, you form what you call a process. So processes of change, these processes result in change in the genes. The moment you change the genetic composition of an organism, it means that you have changed how the organism is going to look, how the organism is going to think, how the organism is going to react. So the moment you touch the genes, it means that you have touched the core of an individual or an organism. So the process of change, this process results in change of the genes that have transformed life on Earth from its earliest forms to vastity of diversity. So it means that if you look at grade 10, you talked about the geological time scale. Say that human beings maybe were the Earth originated 5 billion years ago. 5 billion years ago, the first species which had life originated 5 billion years ago. If it is like that, if all of us we came from the same species, how possible? Oh, why is it that we have different diversity? Look at human beings, same species, but when you are Tswana looks different from Zulu. Zulu looks different from Pedi. Pedi looks different from even the way you speak. We have the light-skinned people and then the dark-skinned people. You understand? So if you look at them, still same species, but we have different characteristics, different thinking. So what causes this? This is as a result of evolution. So you have different diversity among the organisms. So this diversity will help these organisms to survive in this earth. And also say that evolution is the change in the characteristics of species over several generations. That's why I say that processes, there must be different generations. It does not take place in just a single event. It must take place over many generations. You cannot see evolution just by that. You have to have many generations. That's why some people, when they tell them that they came from monkeys or from chimpanzees, some people say that no, it is impossible. It's because those generations, you didn't see them. You have to be with many generations so that you can testify what is really happening. And then we are saying that relies on the process of natural selection. This evolution relies, those who are best suited will survive. Those who are not best suited, they won't survive. Look at what is happening today. There is evolution which is taking place. Coronavirus. Yeah? The reason why the people are still suffering. Imagine they closed the schools, the country, everything was shut down when the people who are suffering or who are sick are just 100 people. But now you are over 100,000 people who are sick. You understand? Or who have been infected. And then the process, the country is running. Why? What they are doing is natural selection. Those who are best suited, they will continue and then they will survive. And those who are not best suited, they will be wiped out from the system, and then new species or those which are resistant will continue. That's what you call natural selection. Those who have passed the papers, they will go to another class. Those who have failed, they will remain in the class. So if you leave the nature to select who is supposed to progress and who is not supposed to progress, then we call it natural selection. So basically we say that evolution depends on natural selection. The characteristics, yes, will change over generation, but this process will be as a result of natural selection. So you need to understand the concept of evolution, that change from simple to a more complex organism. That's the meaning. Evolution, it means that change from a simple form into a more complex form over many generations. That is in layman's language. If someone asks you, what is evolution? Change from simple form to a more complex form over many generations or over a period of time. That's what you call evolution. And then we are saying that when you talk about biological evolution, here we are talking about life. When you talk about, the moment you talk about bio, you are talking about life. So how does life, or the different forms of life we have, how do they evolve? Because even other organisms like the sun, they can evolve from simple to a complex. Stars, they do evolve. So now those are not living. So we are looking at those organisms which are living. All life we have in this world, how did it exist? So how did it come up? So this is what called the biological evolution. So we are saying that all present day forms of life have descended from, it means that they came from and are related to those that lived in past. You are present because of your father. Your father is present because of the grandmothers and grandfathers or the grannies. Those grannies are present because, or they were present because of the grand-granny. So the life of descendants, the life of the past must be related to the life of present with some specific aspects. That's why now, if you look at they say that if you came from Homo, okay, let me say, I'll talk about that when we go to human evolution. If you say that you came from a monkey, there must be some relationship between you and the monkey, to show that, okay, yes, you came from monkeys. But some people say that if you came from monkeys, then why are monkeys still alive? Oh, why should we have monkeys up to now if we came from monkeys? We will see that if really you came from monkeys, you came from chimpanzees, you came from, or you came from somewhere else. Okay, we are saying that difference may be because of the modification which is taking place over generation. So you see that as time goes on, look, basically, if you look at when you are still in primary, the way you are thinking is not the same way you are thinking now. Now you are thinking big, but after 5 years, you'll be thinking bigger. And then when you are too old, you will be thinking extraordinary. You understand? So there is some modification which happens in your life. So this modification, if they can be passed to the next generation, then they contribute to evolution. Look at this. We are saying that maybe we came from this, and then we modified slowly to this. Then we and then this is Homo sapiens. You see them that, okay, maybe we came from this line. This is our line of descent. That, okay, we came from this, we started modifying, we modified again, and then we are here. Do you think that we are stopping here? It shows that you are going somewhere. Yes, it shows that you are going somewhere. There is a small video I did in, I think in 2018 or 17 there. It was talking about evolution. You see that people are more evolving to a certain direction. When you watch it, if you look at YouTube, you check it from YouTube, you'll find it there. And then you see how people are modifying this. It was my aspect that maybe we might evolve to this direction. So we're still going because the changes are still happening in this world. So let's look at what is a hypothesis and what is a theory. When you talk about a hypothesis and a theory, you need to understand this. Sometimes people confuse these two statements. So when you talk about a hypothesis, is a tentative. You know the meaning of tentative? It means something which is not permanent. It's a tentative explanation for a phenomenon, fact, or a scientific inquiry that may be tested, verified, or answered by further investigation. If you look at this, a tentative, it must be, it's not permanent. It must be an explanation and it must be tested. Basically, that's what we need. It must be a tentative explanation that can be tested That is a hypothesis. For example, you can say that the president of South Africa, okay, Cyril Ramaphosa, will win the next election. Do you have some, this is, you are just saying it. It's just a tentative. It's not yet proven. So if you go and do a research and see that, okay, we'll do that, then and then it's being supported, then we can say that, okay, now it means that it can be a theory. But let's look at this. You must be able to test your hypothesis. You don't just say it. You must be able to test the hypothesis. It must be possible to be proven. Your hypothesis must be able to be proven, and it should either be true or false. It can be true or false. There is no problem for it to be true. There is no problem for it to be false. So it's because it's just a statement. Cyril Ramaphosa will win the next elections. It's just a statement trying to, which you can go and do there. He might win, he might lose. That's why you're saying it could be true or false. Let's look at it in on our aspect of science. Look at this. Michael or Michelle, whatsoever, observes that maple trees lose leaves in the fall. This is what this person is saying. So now the hypothesis could be, what causes these leaves? When you're developing the hypothesis, what causes these leaves to fall? What causes these leaves to fall? So basically, you might say that he might then propose a possible explanation for the observation he has seen. And say that, okay, cold weather causes maple trees to lose their leaves in the fall. This, can you prove this? Can you test this? That cold weather causes the maple trees to lose their leaves in the fall. Can you test this? So if you can test it, yes, then it becomes a hypothesis. This statement could be false. It could be something else which causes these leaves to fall. It may not be the cold weather. So that's why you say that it could be true or it could be false. It could be something else totally different. Not even the weather. Not even the weather. It could be maybe water is not there. It could be a disease. It could be something different. It could be genetical, like the deciduous plants, whereby they lose their leaves during the drought season. It's not about what is, whether it's too cold or it's too hot. No, it's about, it tests and then knows that genetically, it knows that, okay, and this period I have to lose my leaves. So this is the statement which can be proven yes or wrong. So a hypothesis is the statement, is just a statement which you can prove it right or wrong. Then when you talk about a theory, what does it mean? When you talk about a theory is a broad explanation for events that is widely accepted as true. A theory. So now if you have different hypotheses, so you have the different hypotheses, the theory must be, and the hypothesis tested to be true, and has been repeated, and then it's being supported by evidences, then the hypothesis turns into a theory. So the theory must be supported by the facts. It must be supported by the experiments. It must be supported by the evidences. So it must be supported by a number of facts so that it turns from the hypothesis to a theory. Remember, I said that hypothesis is just a tentative. If you look at it, it's just a tentative explanation. Yes, it's just a tentative explanation, while the theory, we are saying that it is an explanation for the event that is widely accepted. So the other one is just tentative. But after proving it right, is true, is correct, then it becomes what you call the theory, or an explanation which is accepted. So this must be accepted widely.
Has to go through.
And then we are saying that to become a theory, hypothesis must be tested over and over again, and it must be supported by a great deal of evidence. It must be supported. You don't just say that I have a theory. No, you have to support the theory by testing it and accepting these aspects you have tried to test.